over to the Ogundiran FCA. Over to you, sir.
Time is not our friend, so I quickly go through the slides. Building resilient economy through an effective public financial management system. Next. No, go back to the contents. These are the points that I want to delve on in support of the paper presenter. One, the current state of the Nigerian economy, which was reviewed by him. We talked briefly on that. How did we get here? What's the way forward? What about public financial management systems? Elements of an effective financial management system. Case studies from other African economies. And lastly, building a better working world through financial management systems. A strong economy is the source of national strength. Although the Nigerian economy rebounded after COVID-19, growing by 3.5% in the first 3 quarters of 2022, its recovery was only temporary. The country's inflation rate increased to 21% in 2022 as compared to an average of 10.6% for emerging and developing economies and 8.8% benchmark for the globe. Budget deficits have increased to 5% of GDP, with a revenue generation of 9% of GDP. In addition, 40% of the 2023 budget is expected to be financed by debt. According to the Nigerian Development Update by World Bank, output growth has slowed and the world is lowering its growth projection. The oil output, which is perceived as the strongest of the resources, currently has witnessed a continued contraction by 22.7%. World Bank predicts a GDP growth of 2.9% in 2023, which is a decrease by 0.3 from the June 2022 projections. In 2018, the average tax collection as a share of gross domestic product in Africa was 16.5% and 6.3% in Nigeria. How did we get here? These are some of the reasons we find ourselves where we are today. 1. Poor budgeting and budgetary performance. Political and policy instability. Outdated finance processes. Poor leadership and governance. Inadequate planning for public spending and allocation. Dependence on crude oil as a single source of revenue. Inbuilt in all of this is the word corruption, which has eaten very deep into the fabric of our economy. Budgeting and budgetary performance. You all know what we do to get favor from government quotas. You are familiar with budget padding. You know to get your envelope, you need to make something. You need to patch with something. That is what I refer to as corruption. So this idea has not actually helped us to grow as a nation. So I want to give us an assignment at this point. When the nation is finding herself in a problem, as we are presently, we need to trace back our steps. In our individual homes, we have a role to play. When we have individual home, when we have an ideal home, we will definitely have an ideal society. Society is a product of the individual homes that make up the society. So whatever our home looks like will be reflected by our society. So let's build in our children culture of uprightness, fairness, justice, and equity. Then what's the way forward? Public financial management system is used by nations to mobilize revenue, allocate public funds, prepare effective budgets for public spending and allocation, and build a better working economy. A public financial management system is the methodology used to oversee and govern its income, expenses, and assets to maximize its revenue and ensure sustainability. An effective financial management system improves the short and long-term performance of a country and offers flexibility for the nation's finance to accommodate changes and growth in the economy. Elements of an effective financial management system. 1. Research, data analysis, and technology. Research and data analysis as a tool for effective public financial management allows for the discovery and interpretation of meaningful patterns in data. This data will include population study, employment surveys, or demographic studies. A data-driven public sector is essential to policy making, service delivery, innovation, and governance. Technology in data gathering and interpretation supports public sector decision makers to make informed policy decisions and improve the efficiency of the public sector. For us to plan adequately and have good results, we need research, data analysis, and technology. Where we are not having data, it will be very, very difficult to plan effectively and successfully. So it is very, very key as an element of an effective financial management system. Further to that is budget formulation and execution. Budget planning, formulation, and execution is the art of good public spending. Appropriate public expenditure and revenue planning allows public policy decision makers to assess and control government expenditure for the fiscal year. An effective public budget is comprehensive, transparent, and realistic. Accounting and reporting, which is another element of an effective financial management system. Public sector accounting creates room for a transparent and accountable government. It also provides information to stakeholders of the public sector. This includes the private and public companies, nationals, and other institutions within the country. An effective accounting and reporting system follows an independent standard setting process, such as the International Public Sector Accounting Board. External security and audit. Taking steps beyond accounting and reporting is setting guidelines and procedures that enforce the audit and independent external validation of the prepared reports. Public sector audit provides assurance for the Parliament, government and public entities, governing authorities, and governing authorities are operating in accordance to the standards and laws. Doing so in the very best interest of the public. These are the 4 elements that are brought up for discussion for the sake of this session. Now, I want us to look at the case studies from other African economies. And here, we'll be talking about Tanzania experience, Uganda experience, and Ghana experience, particularly as it relates to medium-term expenditure framework and integrated financial management information systems. 2 of the most significant reforms pushed by the World Bank, DFID, and others are the medium-term expenditure framework, MTEF, and integrated financial management information system, IFMIS. MTEF consists of a medium-term financial framework, usually 3 years, for the planning of government expenditure. And IFMIS is a common computerized financial system used in government offices, recording all financial transactions uniformly. MTEFs and IFMIS appear to provide significant opportunities for achieving fiscally sustainable budgets. Tanzania, Uganda, and Ghana have relatively effective public financial management systems. These countries are at various stages of implementing their MTEF and IFMIS initiatives, but have achieved varying levels of success. Uganda's MTEF has had some success in promoting fiscal balance. Now, building public financial management systems. Here, we are looking at adaptive leadership. You will recall that he mentioned leadership when he was talking to us and made the paper later. So adaptive leadership is one of the things that we need to get this done. Followed by accountability. Followed by technology and innovation. And lastly, strategy. I want to take each of these very quickly. In recent times, global leaders are facing unpredictability, imperfect information, multiple unknowns, and the need to identify responses quickly, all while recognizing the multidimensional health-related, economic, socio-political, cultural nature of the crisis. Responding to the crisis requires adaptive leadership, which involves 3 A's. These are anticipation, articulation, and adaptation. Next is accountability. Lack of accountability and transparency in public finance. In public finance management has stunted the growth and development in every sector of the economy of Nigeria. This is one of the reasons why our amiable institute introduced the ICAN Accountability Index, popularly known as AI, which stands on 5 pillars. We are all familiar with ICAN Accountability Index, and these are the pillars upon which the ICAN AI are built. Policy-based fiscal strategy and budgeting, budget credibility, management of assets and debt, control in budget execution, accounting and reporting, and finally, external audit and legislative scrutiny. Technology and innovation. Making accurate forecast of future infrastructure needs is often difficult because it requires understanding how economic activity will evolve, and how this will impact the demand for infrastructure. In today's world of improved technology and innovation, technological tools such as machine learning and natural language processing can be used to bridge this gap by providing a tool for forecasting future patterns of economic activity, assessing the impact of policy on infrastructure development, and automating the analysis of large volumes of data, which would allow finance officials spend more quality time on effective decision making. Finally, strategy. Strategy in public financial management aims at promoting transparency, accountability, equity, fiscal discipline, and efficiency management and use of public resources for improved service delivery and economic development. To achieve this, a set of actions must be followed, which include 1. Sustainable and predictable fiscal space to deliver government programs. 2. Reliable cash for service delivery. Value for money in procurement and contract management, and finally, disciplined financial management and accurate reporting. All these are key to achieving resilient economic development using the public financial management system. Thank you all for listening, and God bless you.
Let me appreciate our 15th president for sitting right there with us. This is the 17th edition of this conference. I have attended a lot of other zonal conferences. What we have in most cases is that when it gets to points like this, the president is not always there with us. So we appreciate you, my president. Thanks a lot, sir. My little experience in my interaction, I have been a private sector person all my life. My little experience with just a local government in Lagos State, when I had an opportunity of doing some, what I would call a little consulting job with them, that sets me thinking. We have 774 local governments in Nigeria. And with what I saw there, the rot I saw, the question I ask myself is, what is happening to over 20% of the revenue allocation that is given to them? That is aside of the internally generated revenue that they have. Sincerely yours, I weep for this country, because the gentleman who took me there, who was a chairman, was a private sector person, and all he was struggling to do was to get things going. Even, unfortunately for him, he happened he had to rely on the council manager and the treasurer. And anytime he tries to do anything, something must be for the boys. And I just wonder what is happening to us. One other side of that is the fact that most times when we look at the budget in this country, not necessarily even looking at the implementation, what we talk so much about is what is happening within the federal government. We leave out the state. Apologies to the honorable commissioner here. We look more at the federal government. We critique the federal government budget. We leave out the states and that of the local government. The one that paid me most is the fact that we don't even talk about the local government at all. And they just do what they like, and they get away with it. So much we have had. I've also kind of complained because look, these days what we talk so much about is the corruption in the public service. We do not talk about what goes on in the private sector. And a lot of times when we argue over this in forums, I have had cause to call people's attention to what has happened in some of the so-called multinationals. I have had cause to ask people with sincere apologies, what would have happened to Guinness if the owners, the foreign owners didn't plan certain strategic initiatives that they had? What would have happened to Cadbury? What would have happened to Nigerian Beauties? Just to name it, but a few. But that is just for us. We are looking at the public sector, and I want to just limit myself to that for this purpose. But we also remember what happened recently when the River State governor spoke. And I was shocked that a lot of the other states, the governors were not talking, and the people from there were also not saying anything. Very sad phenomenon in this country. I hope we can continue to absorb all the shocks that we are getting. One of it is the fact that, like I told a colleague, the fact that what shows the resilience of so many of us is our attendance here, coming to Badagry, and then with what is happening around us. So please, let's once again appreciate CAN and the discussants. Thank you so much, Honorable. My successor in office as the zonal chairman. We won't want to waste too much time. The president is still with us, and I do not want us to keep him waiting for too long. So we'll take a few questions for them to respond to very swiftly, and then we can leave this place. Thank you.
My name is Alhaji for FCA, membership number 13166. Incidentally, I'm a council member, and therefore I would like to seek the permission of Mr. President to have a few extra minutes. Mr. President, do I have your permission, sir? Okay. Do I have the permission of the chairman of session? All right. Mr. Chairman has given me 2 extra minutes, and I hope that at the end of those 2 minutes, you will appreciate why I needed the extra time. Now, the paper discussants referred to the ICAN Accountability Index in his presentation. Now, the paper that we've spoken about is really around PFM, Public Finance Management, and has spoken eloquently about what Ondo State has done in order to improve the system of public financial management and also to increase transparency and accountability. And those factors really are the objectives of the ICAN Accountability Index. Now, he also spoke about their sifters assessments and the fact that they are continuously improving, even though there's still a lot more to do. And incidentally, he also mentioned that there have been some independent assessment. Now, I don't know what independent assessment the Honorable Commissioner is referring to, but it gladdens my heart to be able to say that the assessment that he has mentioned that Ondo State scored is very, very similar to the independent assessment that has been carried out by the ICAN Accountability Index. I've never met him before, by the way, so there's no conflict issue. But I think it's important for our members to know that the ICAN Accountability Index is one of the most important initiatives of ICAN in pursuit of our public interest mandate. And that is a model, it's a framework that has enabled ICAN to do an assessment of the public sector. Now, the chairman of session mentioned that most times when we talk about budget, when we are critiquing the budget, we usually focus on government budget without any assessment of the state government, and obviously nothing to talk about the local government. Well, the good news I have for you is that the ICAN Accountability Index actually covers all 3 strata of government. the federal government, the state government, and the local government. And we are able to cover the local government because constitutionally, as we speak, the local governments are still appendage of the state government. So when we are assessing the state, we also assess the local government as well. Now, the good thing is that, and I'm sure some of you, because I've seen one or two of our members that participated in the assessment of the ICAN Accountability Index. I've seen some of them here, and kudos to them. Thank you, thank you. Now, the good thing is that despite all the struggles and challenges that we have had, the Institute has now completed the ICAN for 2020 and 2021, and the Council just about 2 weeks ago approved the report of that assessment. And once the report Thank you. So Council has approved. All our members, when those results come out, propagate it, engage with the people that you work with. A lot of us in the public sector, it's important that we engage and we begin to sensitize them. We believe at the council level that it's a very strong day for ICAN to engage decision makers and tell them the whole truth. It's an independent assessment funded fully by ICAN. There's no interference from anybody, and we believe that it's something that will trigger response from government. So please, I urge you all to look at, now, there's going to be a lot of media engagement, talking to the stakeholders, etc. Please, I urge you to pay attention to those and propagate the message of ICAN. Now, one last request I have for the Honorable Commissioner is that part of the challenge, and I'm sure you will have noticed that even during the SIFTAS assessment, is access to information. That is the fundamental challenge when you're doing this kind of assessment. And I please want to use this medium publicly to request that the Honorable Commissioner support ICAN in this regard by talking to his fellow commissioners across the Federation, by talking to the state government and other stakeholders that we will be working for, to make the job of ICAN Accountability Index easier, but more importantly, make it more impactful in the public sector. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you for the presentation. My name is Shiliola Bowale, membership number 22473. I'm proud to be from your state, Ondo State. And I also work to do an investment company limited. Thank you for that, sir. When you were releasing the financials, and I was so happy about the increased IGR of Ondo State. And I was also thinking about how do I learn more about those financials? How do I see the details? And my question to you is that where can I access those information so that we can look at it and I'll be able to take it home to my company and see area we can collaborate further with Ondo State government. Thank you for the presentation, sir.
Good afternoon, sirs. My name is Olode Tababatunde Akin, membership number 33990. My question is basically on what the two speakers observed as one of the means of building resilient economy through effective public finance management, and that is budget. And this issue of members in public sector and private sectors, most of us operate at the management cadre, but most time our hands are tied when the executive are not ready to listen to the way forward. And what do I mean? This is the plan. This is the budget. This is what will make us to build a resilient economy, whether in the private or in the public. And yet, because of selfish interest of the executive, they will say, no, go this way. Under that circumstances, what do we do?
Thank you very much. My name is Olamoyegun Joshua, membership number 15132. I want to appreciate the two discussants. But my question and my observation is this. We have these reports in the paper, but the execution of all these things that we have learned, how do we carry it to the classroom or even to our offices for proper implementation? That is my question.
Letter saying that we refused to answer some questions, and you wrote back. So thank you very much for that. How to get financials of those states? Shile Akibo Ali, I believe you asked that question. If you go to our website, www.on.gov.ng, you'll find all our financials there on the web. All. So you can have access. You see, it's a World Bank requirement. These days you cannot hide things anymore. The World Bank insists through their various agencies that you make public a lot of the things you do now. And so it has become imperative for states to be more transparent. And that's why the CIFTAS program has been very successful, because it's a P4R, it's a performance for reward program. If you do this, we'll give you so much amount of money if you do this. And it has helped to strengthen the public financial systems in a lot of states, because there's more transparency and accountability. And we have independent verification agents who come. Most of them are also members of the Institute. I can mention quite a lot of you that I've had cause to interact with in the course of the CIFTAS program, who are IBAs, and they come, they review everything we claim to have done, and on that basis, they form their opinion and pass it on to the World Bank. And if they're satisfied, we get rewarded for it. Recently, I still got about 2-point-something billion, I think 2 weeks ago, for achieving a particular, what do we call it, program. So that's it. So if you go onto our website, you find it. Somebody also asked, what do you do under the circumstance where you want to do something because the budget is stated in the budget and the executive says no? Well, that is a different thing entirely. But I can tell you that in Ondo State, we have an economic team headed by myself. You have the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning. You have the Chairman of the Internal Revenue Service. You have other people who are also members of that economic team. And we try to work with the budget. We don't have that kind of interference in our own situation where you're trying to, because the budget, if it's actually made for the people to have significant impact on the people, why would the executive want to go against it? Secondly, you cannot also do things you have not appropriated for. The House of Assembly, the legislative arm is also there that will take you up on it. So what we try to do is to ensure that we craft a realistic budget as much as possible and factor in all the programs that will have direct impact on the people. So to a reasonable extent, we have been able to work with that. And where you have to, then you have to find a way. Either you see that there will be certain things you put in the budget that are no longer possible, then you can do what do we call it, a revised budget, and that's it. I think That answers all questions. I want you to appreciate yourself. I'm standing here to just re-echo something, which is very common among our members. What is ICAN doing? What is ICAN doing? In the first place, who is ICAN? It's membership. It's not the council that is ICAN. And even outside, what is ICAN doing? What is ICAN doing? When I stepped out and had a chat with the press, the television, they asked me, this economic problem, look at the theme of this conference, what's ICAN doing? Simple, advocacy. But I want you to look at it in the context of the current presentation. The ICAN Accountability Index is about efficient public financial management, it's about efficient delivery, and is about resource allocation. And this is complementary to the sectors, because sectors is about the state's fiscal, transparency, accountability, and sustainability. And they go. So in a way, ICAN is also supporting the vision of the government. And finally, the report, as Dele has said, for 2020 and 2021 is ready. For your information, ICAN finance this assignment. There is no contribution from anywhere. So, but for the presentation, ICAN is going for a sensitization that the Honorable Minister of Finance, the Accountant General, Auditor General, and through the Office of the Forum of Governors, will want to reach out to all the commissioners of finance, let them be present, because that's the only way we see this kind of advocacy that ICAN is doing. And we are free to contribute to this effort from all our members. Once more, Honorable Commissioner, thank you very much. And for your information, the AI is highly regarded by all the state governors. Ondo State Governor is one, Edo State Governor is one, Lagos State Governor is one. You understand? And the ranking is making other governors who are at the bottom of the ladder want it to be done. And we are on. Very soon we embark on 2022. But finally, as Dele was saying, our problem is getting information. It's getting information from the state government. So, Honorable Commissioner, in this regard, I hope you give our regards to His Excellency. We thank him very much, and also we cooperation from him and also his colleagues, other governors, so that it will be fair. It is taking long to get this ICAN index report ready, partly because of this. I told you it is the ICAN that is financing, so we don't have that problem there. But getting the information is actually, but it's not, this year, it's an election year. So most of them are concerned about issues of electoral value. But we'll be there, inshallah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Let me say something that, with regards to the AI, that's the Accountability Index Assessment. I will advise that for you to achieve greater results, that you work with the NGF, the Nigerian Governors Forum, and also the Forum of Commissioners for Finance. If you go through them also, get their full buy-in, you will get those information faster. I would, if Dele talks to me, I'm the Vice Chairman of the Forum of Commissioners for Finance in Nigeria, and I would be willing to assist with that.
Thank you so much. 1 minute.
And I want to tell you, it is not correct. It is not correct. And I want every one of us to go home with this acronym. Remind yourself of this acronym every day. And over time, you will see things changing in your home. What is the acronym? FEG. FEJ, where F stands for fairness, E for equity, and J for justice. These are the principles upon which Almighty God, our Creator, based the entire globe. If we allow these principles to reign amongst ourselves in our various homes, there will be no crisis. Absence of any of these three is what causes crisis in our societies. Where there is fairness, where there is equity, where there is justice, we are bound to cohabit peacefully. There will be no problem. So, if we have an ideal home, like I said earlier, it will impact positively on our society. Our society will be an ideal society. And that will have a reflection on the entire country. So I implore every one of us, don't imbibe the attitude of, if you cannot beat them, join them. Whatever you know you are doing right, stand by it. One day, God Almighty will support you, and you see that come to fruition. God will help each and every one of us. Thank you very much.
On that note, I want to appreciate you for your resilience, for paying attention, and still remaining here up to this time.
I'm trying to say going forward, given what the Honorable Commissioner has said, that we should link up with NGF, already we are on that, and that we should link up with the Forum of Commissioners of Finance. We know the NGF has an office with Western. I don't know that there is similar location for office for the Commissioners of Finance. So if in Abuja, so if possible, what we do is if you could meet them jointly. If we could meet jointly, I mean the presidency, the accountability index committee, and with them jointly, rather than having different meetings, so that we state all our concerns or our challenges, and we hear from the horse mouth and we move forward. I think I would like members to hear that so that we move forward. Thank you.
Our dear President, the 58th President, I want to, on behalf of Western Zone Conference Organizer and the 23 Chairman, District Society Chairman, I want to present this this award in special recognition in honor of Alhaji Mikhali Ogundiran, FCA. In your contribution, support, and commitment towards the success of the Western Zonal Accountant Conference, as well as your selfless services to our great institute. Today, 7th February 2023. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And to make presentation to our Speaker of Finance, Ondo State, let me welcome our Council Member, Madam Queensley Segosime, MNI FCA, as Madam Oswan.
Very distinguished Commissioner of Finance, Ondo State. Good afternoon, sir. On behalf of the Chairman, members of the Western Zonal Accountants Conference, indeed the entire membership of the Western Zone, I'm presenting this special recognition.
Recording in progress.
Of your good self, for your contributions, support and commitment towards the success of the Western Zonal Accountants Conference, as well as your selfless service to our great institution. Thank you, and may God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Princely Segosime. Amen.
On behalf of the chairman, the Western Zonal, and all members of the zone, presenting this to my chairman, the chairman of chairman, Mr. Kola Olaiton, for your contributions, support, and efficient moderation on the workshop section, as well as a selfless service to our great institute. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for them. Photograph with the presidency. The chairman and the paper presenter, please can we step down and we join the, let's join the president and the president's socialization. So you will see.